porn set type of thing is.
Oh, we're being interviewed. No. What I mean is that you're not like. That's just a lot of stuff.
How long is it?
I know it's only a few days per for the parody. It's only a few days, right?
Well,
like
for the movie, I mean, the average porn budget. I mean, for like a big movie like Lebowski was like a big movie. I'm not going to say their budgets because I'm not at liberty to speak about that. But most movies like a big budget porn movie, like they did Pirates, which was like $500,000 and stuff like that, which was like the biggest budget porn movie. They spent $1 million on promotion with everything and stuff like that. And but your average porn movie's like feature type movie, parody type thing and stuff like that is probably about like 20,000 is a average budget.
Wow.
And 50,000 is a good budget.
Okay.
Very few people get the $50,000 budget. So they're mostly shot in like 3-4 days, and they're and as most features are. I mean, some of the bigger budget ones are shot in more days, but for the most part, like every day I go to work, like doing oh, you're doing this parody and this parody and this parody. Want to know how many days I was on The Big Lebowski? 2. Want to know how many days I was on Scrubs? 1. Want to know how many days I was on Seinfeld? 2. Like, I mean, for the most part, and Batman, 2 days. Like,
do you have any interest in acting? Do you want
No. I actually have been offered many a mainstream deal. The last mainstream gig that I was offered, I made up a fictitious agent that is actually somebody else's agent, and I told the producer to call them, and I also quoted them a ridiculous rate.
Oh, that's cool.
It was basically my way of saying, go fuck yourself.
Right.
My theory is if I wanted to be an actor, I would just go be an actor.
Right.
Acting is fun and all, but it's fun because it's like in porn, it's not like real acting. I'm going to turn my phone off.
Thank you.
And,
Glad we got to that.
That's interesting that you get sent a lot of mainstream roles.
Not a lot. I mean, we're talking but 5 and 6 years.
Yeah, but that's enough. I mean, like
that's almost one a year. Just in practical terms.
0.78 a year.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Thanks for breaking that down.
That was
but
good.
And you're telling me I'm dragging out jokes too long.
I'm really tempted to check your mouth.
It's totally wrong. That is totally wrong. That's interesting. And is there any particular reason why you wouldn't want to do mainstream stuff? I mean, if it's money or it's just you're not interested in acting?
Well, no. If somebody offered me enough money, because I am a Jew, if somebody offered me enough money, I would totally do it. If somebody was like, "Hey, come do this mainstream role. We're going to pay you this many millions of dollars," I would do it. But for the most part, the reason I chose to do porn is because the idea of I actually don't say this much because I think it's retarded to say out loud. But the idea of sexually expressing yourself in ways beyond your wildest imaginations in every capacity and living out, perversions that, most people won't even discuss and stuff like that. I just think it's like, I wouldn't say the Lord's work, but I think it's like actually a really beneficial thing for like, society in general to be able to go, look, I have this hidden fantasy to go, like, you guys were just talking about Wolf Hudson. Wolf Hudson, I think, is one of the most awesome performers because he doesn't care. You talk to him, you're like, you like trannies? Yeah. You like gay guys? Yeah. You like bi guys? Yeah. You like girls? Yeah. You like this? Yeah. He doesn't have sexual walls. He's like, I'm into this person, this thing. This is, I'm just into that.
Well, he said he wouldn't have sex with animals, so he's got a wall.
Well, that's
kidding.
What a prude.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't know. I think that porn really gives the world the opportunity to kind of interact with themselves in a sexual way that they might not have been able to before. And I think it's like, I don't know. I love porn in every capacity.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly. I just think it reminds people how primal we are at the end of the day. I think that's what it
living like cats.
Living like cats. Wow.
Thank you for the other cat reference. I also think it's weird when people ask like, why do the podcast? Is it weird that you're talking about porn? Do you feel weird about talking about porn? I was like, I think it's weirder personally. I think it's really odd to be someone who watches and consumes porn and does not talk about it than to be someone who talks about it. I don't like or
there is a level where it's too much. Like there are like
Tracy's good at that. She won't stop.
It's just
like,
too much for me right now.
In your pants.
We'll be at a show. No, we'll be at a show, and she's like, guys, porn, and she'll just go on for.
I watched some of your movies today because I wanted to like research you before this, and I was watching. I don't know. I think porn's kind of cool.
So
porn's rad.
Yeah.
What did you get from the movies?
You're an amazing performer.
It's very flattering.
She did that with better eye contact than I ever could.
Yeah.
Made me lose eye contact. I got shy.
Yeah, you did. You put your shirt above your
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah. All right, well, let's take our last break.
What I was saying
yeah.
fast was basically like the reason why I don't want to do like real acting is because it's actual work, and that would actually seem like a job. It would actually be something that.
Oh, it totally is.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it
And there's much longer hours.
And
I
it's
would
not even the
imagine.
hours, really. It's just the fact that it's like something that I'm not passionate about. I'm not passionate about acting. Acting's fun to do in pornos because it doesn't really matter. Most people fast forward through it, and it gives me an opportunity to kind of mix it up and do something a little silly. But, in like even the serious roles are still a little silly because they're in a fucking porno.
Right,
But
right, exactly.
Ultimately, when it comes down to it, I want to do porn, and anything else just seems like it would just be useless.
Well, here's another question I have also is that first off, how many hours does it typically take to film a sex scene in general? Like, what's the
actual sex scene? It's
I'm sure it ranges.
Times have changed. Like like when I first got into the business, I sounded swanky and official there. When
I
got
like
into
it.
the
Keep it going.
business,
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
I got a
professional.
suitcase.
We're in the business of being in the business, so absolutely.
When I first got into the business, the average scene would be maybe 3 hours, and some scenes would go like 5 hours. You'd have features that were like 12 hours or 19 hours, and you'd have like days that were like, people that shot like, an hour and a half, but average was about 3 hours. Nowadays, it seems like the average, because basically in order to cut it in this world of economic downfall and, free porn on the internet. Don't tell anybody about that, by the way.
No, we've talked about it before. No, other people
People are
brought it
gonna
up.
know.
Yeah.
People are gonna know about the free porn on the
No
internet.
one
Don't tell them
No
about
one that
it.
listens to this knows that there's porn out
Okay, good,
Yeah, no.
good. Yeah. So,
Wait, there's free porn?
no.
Tracy.
there.
No.
You paid for his porn today.
You know what? It was
Of course.
great. It was worth it.
Yeah. But yeah, so, between times like that, people have to, up their game and like do higher production value stuff and, make, better, which I think is good. They have to make better quality stuff. But,
Absolutely.
in order to do that, it takes more time. And the actual sex scenes take the same amount of time, which is basically about, if they're shooting softcore, which is you don't show penetration,
Right.
and hardcore, where you show everything, it takes anywhere from, like let's say they're shooting both of those, it takes about 45 minutes, an hour to shoot a sex scene. It's about 20 to 30 minutes of sex and then about 15 minutes or so of softcore sex. If they're not shooting the softcore, then it's, takes about 20 to 30 minutes. And
That seems like a long time.
Really?
45 minutes?
Well, you got to get all the different angles and positions and whatnot.
I like to have sex.
Yeah, I mean,
that
but
doesn't
that's-
seem like a
well,
very
how
long time at all. How
how
long
long
do you
would-
have sex for?
Yeah.
I don't think that long. I've never timed it, though.
I remember Dr. Drew on the Love Line.
Oh, yeah.
One
Good
time.
guy.
Yeah,
I like him.
He was talking about how the majority of women in the world, their average desired sexual runtime is like 10 minutes or so, something like
Yeah.
that. And then after that, it's like, okay, get off me. You're
Yeah,
just
that's-
beginning to hurt. Just get
That's
up.
Dr. Drew. Actually, I just worked on a Dr. Drew show the other day, and that question was brought up, and that's exactly what he
Yeah,
said.
which is, something.
Didn't you guys get
to
coffee
be
yesterday
considered.
too, Tracy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I want I want that guy to like mentor me. That guy
He's,
I want to just hang out
I
with him.
love
and, like,
him.
He is,
He
yeah.
actually
I love him.
told somebody who claims to be like a professional and like really intelligent person, gives somebody advice, a Dr. Phil-esque sort
Yeah.
of person who like really should not be giving advice to
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
They were on the show, and I'm not gonna say who they are because I don't want to slander anyone. But I'll slander Dr. Phil all day long because he's not a real
Yeah,
person.
no, he's not.
Yeah. But
He's a doctor.
yeah.
Comedy.
Funny. Anyway, so yeah, he actually like halfway through the show, like Dr. Drew, like people would call in and the person would be like, "Oh, well, I'm gonna give you sex advice," and give him all sorts of sex advice and blah blah blah. And Dr. Drew would kind of kindly and very tactfully correct the person, like, "No, you should do this
Yeah.
instead."
Right.
And then in like hour like 2, like towards like the latter part of the second hour, there he finally was like, "Look, you need to stop what you're doing because you are absolutely wrong and you are giving terrible advice."
Yeah,
love it.
It was
he's
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Well, my other question then in that case, with since you are obviously, it's not sounding like it's as big a workload as I initially thought.
Oh yeah, I
How
don't
much?
do anything.
How much free time do you have in like?
Well, that's why I have so many jobs.
Right.
I'm the head of production at a company that has like 8 or 9 websites. Or I should probably know that being the head of production. But we're relaunching, so we're not updating some and updating more. But anyway, so I'm the head of production at a company that has multiple websites. I am the editor for that company. I am the videographer for that company. I direct for that company. I have my own company that I shoot for and direct for and stuff like that.
Right.
Because and then I am male talent. And as I said on Twitter, I am no longer male talent. I want to be referred to as a sexually liberated craftsman because I don't think there's actually talent in what I do. So
I would actually disagree, but maybe that's just from my perspective.
As would I.
Yeah. No, that makes 3. Yeah.
Yeah,
do believe-
talent is.
I really could
Check.
not do it.
You-
I just couldn't.
Yeah.
I get so
Well, that's
nervous.
because you're not sexually liberated.
No.
Or maybe your craft is different than my craft.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm morally against it. What I'm saying is I can't, like, erection-wise, I can't do that.
Well, that's what I meant by sexually liberated.
Oh.
I didn't mean like.
Wait, do
crude.
you know a way for me to keep an erection?